All right, so after the debacle of trying to find my lifters, found them, got them soaked in some oil. Gonna go ahead and install those with brand new lifter trays. So we've got some actual GM lifter trays. I recommend doing this on any kind of rebuild. When you use the old ones, they get brittle, they get old, they can break, kick a lifter sideways, and wreck the cam. So we always replace these with quality ones. I mean, granted, you could buy Amazon, eBay, or whoever, but I like using GM specific ones. That's just me. So we'll get started on this. Get down here in my bucket of oil. Soak my lifters overnight. Hopefully they're good and pumped up and ready to go. Oh yeah. And I just use some good O'Reilly's 1030, the cheap stuff. It'll work for what we're doing. Never had a problem with it. I run it in my race car, my truck, my wife's car. Hadn't let me down yet. And also, I'll bring this in too. When you go to do this, guys, hopefully you know this. If you don't, it'd be a little bit of a learning deal. But the holes in here, face them up. That way, they drain out and provide more lubrication to your system. Learned that back from the old Ford days with the 302s. And another thing, I do a lot of cheap stuff. I am pretty thrifty when I build these things, but I will always replace lifters when I do a motor. I'm not the guy to reuse an old lifter. Some of you do and it works, that's fine, man, that's cool. If you like that, I've had bad experiences in the past with using old lifters, so went and got a set of the LS7s. Some new good known ones. I don't want to be on the side of the road working on my RV. If I take my wife and my kids out, the last thing my wife wants to hear is, "Oh no, honey, we broke down." So we put the good stuff in. Well, some of it. Alright, so one lifter tray in. Had a little snafu had to look at there. Apparently I didn't get a lifter all the way set inside the bucket. But so she's all the way down flat. Now you got the little tiny guys that hold those down. You want to always add some Loctite, just for preventative measures. That guy on there and put the lid on that so I don't lose him. Now the torque on these is low. It's like 105 or 106 inch-pounds. You really don't want to do more than that. These things snap real easy, strip them out, all that. I mean, granted, it would be held in by the cylinder head, but, they put it there for a reason, so we're going to put it back. All right, nice and tight. We'll get our other brand new lifter tray out. Set that guy up there. Get a little bit of oil on there, keeps it nice and lubricated. That one went down a lot easier than the last one. So once again, your little tiny bolt, put that Loctite on there. Certain times and instances for using red, but this little guy, we went ahead and went with the blue. Just in case we ever got to tear the neighbor hater back apart, I want to get it apart. So I used blue on that. Now, we did use the red on the camshaft and the timing gear because we do not want that to back out. I've seen what happens when you lose the timing gear off the camshaft, and it's not good. It makes a mess of things. All right, so we're good and tight. We're gonna get ready to install the cylinder head. I probably should have dug all that out and got that ready too, but we'll take a little pause and reset. Getting ready to do the head gasket situation. Got us some good Engine Tech bolts off the Rock Auto. I tried to buy them through O'Reilly's, but they wanted too much money for them. So, sorry O'Reilly's, you guys employ me 1 day a week. Been there like 6 years. But I gotta be economical with this. Sorry in advance. Don't fire me. Also got the Ultra Power head gaskets, also from the Rock Auto. We'll set them out of the way. We've got our dowels here. You definitely want to make sure they're in and seated. Make sure that head stays good and located, doesn't move around and do a bunch of weird stuff on you. Get my fancy pocket knife out. Alright, as you should know, front means water pump. Go up there, don't put them on that way. Don't put them on that way. Front. Now, I'm just going to be installing these guys dry. Now, a lot of times on my boosted stuff, you know, whether it be the Rickety Rocket or Noah's Bruised Up Stang or even my black car, I will use copper spray on these gaskets. In an NA setup like this, I don't think we really need to. I mean, they already have, you know, the gasket part on it. So we're just going to set these guys on here and just run them down like normal. Now we use the copper stuff on the boosted so it holds better and it grips, you know, doesn't slide around, move, lift, any of that. Yes, you still can lift the head with it, but I think it holds up a little better. So, don't really need it this time. Couple quick taps on the bolts. There they are. So, as you can see, this one here is sticking up. That's not because it's, you know, off or anything. On these Gen 3 motors, this is an early one. You have two different size bolts. So on the outsides, you got your short bolt. Those ones. Use on something else. Maybe we'll make something out of it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing a bunch of bolts here.
These bolts come with thread locker already on them?
Yes. You can kind of see it. Might be a little hard to see. There is thread locker on it. Now I know you're probably supposed to put oil or ARP lube or something on there, but I've never had an issue with doing it this way. They've always held up good for me. And like I said, this is just an NA build. It's, you know, just supposed to cruise down the road. So we're not getting ultra fancy with it. And all I'm going to do here is just kind of run these guys by hand. Some of them anyway. Oh. This place is a wreck. But you got to work with what you got. So let's take my breakover bar here and just run these down just a little bit. Not terrible, you know. You want to get them finger tight or hand tight, or, you know, however you want to say it. Now also, like we were talking about with the head gaskets and the copper spray and everything, so you notice I'm using bolts here. Once again, because this is just an NA deal that we're just going to cruise down the road, there's no need for studs. Now on the boosted stuff, you know, the Rickety Rocket, Nose Bruised Up Stang, my black car, your buddy's car, if it's boosted, go ahead and spend the money and put studs in it. You'll appreciate it later. You have a less chance of lifting the head, you know, keeping the head down and tight and everything. But once again, not needed here. You know, maybe later when I find that LSA blower for it, we'll take it back apart, put studs in it. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Yeah, so we paused the video, just, you know, seeing what was going on. If you guys don't know or haven't seen, my shop, you know, QPS, Questionable Performance Solutions headquarters, is actually at a storage facility. So I rent this 20x40 out here, and the owner's super cool, lets us do this stuff, doesn't really give us too much hassle. But, you know, we try to keep an eye on our surroundings, what's going on. I mean, you never know at some of these places. And we just keep an eye, everybody, everything. You know, there's a couple guys down here, guy next to us got a car over here, you know, there's stuff over here, back there, whatever. So just be cautious and keep things in mind, you know, check on your neighbor type stuff. But we'll get back to installing these cylinder heads. Hey dude, what are you doing?
I was just trying to clean up a little valve cover action here, so you can get ready to put the valve covers on when you get done with them. Just a little knock off some of the crud with a wire wheel here. It may not make it perfect, but it'll make it clean.
Yeah, try to make it all pretty.
Well, in case you want to paint it or do something, you know, you got to have it right. And because it gets a lot of crap on it, just like this stuff here from the junkyard marks it. I don't want that on there. I hate that stuff. I always said never put that stuff on there.
Well, how do they know if you, you know, paid for the part or stole the part?
Well, because I walked out the door and they handed me my check.
Yeah, so we'll let the dude get back to cleaning his stuff up there.
All right.
All right, I got the torque wrench out. So 22 foot-pounds on all of them, crisscrossing pattern. Start in the center, work your way out. Alright, so notice I actually use a torque wrench this time on here. A lot of times you can, and we've seen it done, and you've probably done it. I've done it. Just using the impact and bashing them in, a little ooga-dooga action. That's fine, there's nothing really wrong with that. I'm just trying to take a couple extra steps on this one, since it is going in the neighbor hater that I'm going to have my wife and kids in. So just me, don't judge, I use a torque wrench this time. Now we're got to do the 90 foot-pounds on the first pass on here. Now, I'm not using a torque angle gauge or anything. I have one, I just don't like it. So basically, you know, 90 degrees, quarter of a turn, more or less. All right, so there's one, and then I believe it's another 90 on all of them, or is it 70 on? Oh, yeah, okay, so the outside ones only get 50 degrees, so we're probably just gonna guess on that. It's fine.
Be about half of what you got.
Either way, it's still gonna work. I mean,
Consistency is the whole trick. Whatever you do on one, do it on the other one.
well, just getting it done is the trick, I think. All right, so that's one of 2 cylinder heads on the Neighbor Hater motor. Go ahead and I'll get the other one on. I won't bore you guys with watching me do that again. So I'll get the other head on, we'll come back and we'll show you what's next for the Neighbor Hater. Alright, so as you can tell, we cleaned the workbench off. No, we didn't, we just pushed stuff out of the way. But so what I got here is I've got the Gen 3 LS Valley cover that has the knock sensors in it. Well, I'm not going to use the knock sensors on the Neighbor Hater. So I ran up to the local O'Reilly's and I got these freeze plugs. If you guys actually know this, man, write this down. 555-069 is the size you can do your own knock sensor delete. Now normally what I do with these things is I'll take a little bit of RTV, probably a little more than that, but take some of this stuff here. Of course it doesn't want to come up, so I'll go the other way with it, right? Like Bob Ross, man, happy mistakes or something. What'd he say? Run a little bead around it. Set it in place, find some random rag or shirt or shoe or whatever, and wipe your finger off. Then I get my motivator. I move everything on the bench when I do this, but it's supposed to go there. And voila! You have your own knock sensor delete plate. I mean, you know, you can buy, if you want to be fancy, you got one of them fancy motors or something, you know. Call up Motion or ICT Billet or one of them places and get you a fancy one. But when you're building a RV, not necessarily needed. I mean, if somebody wanted to donate one to me, I'll take it back apart and I'll video me putting a good one on. But for right now, this does the trick. Alright, time to clear the bench. And that, friends, is ready to go back on the motor. So we'll walk over here and we'll do that in just a second. I think we got a couple things we got cleaning up. I think the dude was working on some stuff a minute ago. We'll check in with him in a second and see what's going on over there while I was doing this project. Hey there, dude. What are you doing?
Trying to clean these push rods up. They look like they got some kind of a varnish or something on them. I mean, you can kind of see how sometimes these things just sit for a long time, and you just need to get in here and jack with them a little bit.
Yeah, this motor was obviously not the cleanest.
But, I mean, everything's serviceable here. You just need to kind of work them out, let them soak a little bit. And we just got some the stuff we got from, what is it?
This is a Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree.
Soon to be the $1.25 tree.
Yeah. Awesome cleaner. Works pretty good. Started out with a little brake clean, then some parts cleaner, and just kind of got soaking in the corner here a little bit, and running a brass brush over them, trying to knock the stuff off without really wearing myself out here.
Yeah, and then once we do that, we'll more than likely take the air compressor to it, blow out the.
Oh yeah, you got to blow the centers out.
Yeah, so get all those clean. But so in the meantime, though, guys, I got both the cylinder heads on. You saw one of those. I didn't bore you with the other one. Got the Knox sensor delete valley cover on. And I don't know if you guys know this, but that motor there, we got out of the local pick and pull yard. Had the whole Questionable Performance Solutions crew down there on half off day. So myself, the dude, No Way, and Nate all went down there, and we got 3 motors out. And they were all lined up. 1, 2, 3. 3 motors in less than 3 hours. It's pretty nice. So I think they were each like $125 a piece. But so that is what's going on in the neighbor hater. And I did not take mine apart. I didn't do the short block and all that stuff. I pulled it down, kind of looked at the bearings, did not look at cam bearings whatsoever. I was blindfolded when I put the cam in. So it's gonna be pretty cool though.
Bad if you don't see it.
Yeah, it ain't bad if you don't see it. Keep that in mind. So we got this thing all together now. Dude's doing the push rods. I'll get those done, get the rockers all torqued down, get the valve covers on, and then hopefully next time you guys will see the motor and the new 4L80 going in the neighbor hater. I'm tired of looking at that gigantic hole right there. I'm ready to get that motor back in here and cruise it around. You know, obviously take my kids and my wife out. You know, we're supposed to go, you know, camping in this thing. Super excited for that. It's gonna be awesome. You know, my kids are 9 and 6. My oldest, my 9-year-old McKenna, she loves camping. She is way more outdoorsy than I have ever been. So she's super excited. Every time she comes down here, you know, it's, hey Dad, when's this gonna be done? Well, McKenna, it's coming. So just hold on tight. We're getting very close. Got to do a little bit of cleanup before the motor goes in, but you know, I'll get that done. Got to figure out some wiring. I did get a manual for this thing, so I have the wiring schematic and all that stuff. Yeah. So next time you'll be seeing that go in. Anyway, I want to get back here to supervising the dude doing these push rods, get this wrapped up.